It was E3 last week, meaning we were making videos about the games of the future when all we really wanted to do was get back to tending our virtual dinosaurs in Jurassic World Evolution. Well, E3 is over and I'm reopening the doors to my Dino theme park, and I thought I would share all the tips, tricks and advice that I've been using to keep the dinos happy and the visitors uneaten. I've got some easy money-making tricks, especially if you're stuck on the third island, and have some general good practices for success. Hope you find it useful. Let's kick off with one of the geekier treats hidden in the game, unlocking this original Jurassic Park custom skin for the Ranger Jeep. The unlock is tied to the Hold On To Your Butts achievement, which unlocks when you get 5 seconds of airtime in a Ranger team's Jeep within a 20-second window. Note that it doesn't have to be one single jump that gets you 5 seconds of airtime. To achieve this, you can use the terrain tools to create a series of ramps and drops. I built mine on the second island as I happen to have a wide patch of grass. You use the raise tool to build a ramp and use the lower tool on the other side to create a suitable drop. Create 2 of these in a row and then gun your Jeep towards it to easily get the airtime in a 20-second window. Once it's unlocked, to change to your new shiny skin, you just click on the Ranger station and select the paint roller icon. Once you've picked the skin, the next time the Jeep returns to the station, it will magically whisk itself back to 1993 for this delightful look. Here's hoping your park goes slightly better than it did back then. The next tip is potentially life-changing, though it may feel a bit like cheating. Many of your research options are limited by the number of research centres built across your network of islands. It's to prevent you from spamming every upgrade once you get your first island to profitability. But the research lab only has to be built on a later island. You don't actually have to do the research there. So when you unlock a new island, visit it using the map menu and build your new research lab. Once it's fully operational, return to the very first island and you can start researching all the new projects that have unlocked using the money that you have rolling in from your more stable income. Getting research off the ground on a new island, where you have limited funds and are trying to invest in dinosaurs and buildings, is much harder. Yes, it maybe does feel like cheating, but it gives you far more toys to play with straight off the bat when you decide to start working on other islands properly. The next tip is an extension of the last one. When you visit a new island to build the research centre, you also want to build a fossil centre. You see, any fossils or materials you extract from dig sites are shared across all the fossil centres you own. This allows you to then return to the first island again and use your stable income to visit dig sites and find rare minerals and fossils. Once your fossil centre is stuffed with expensive things to sell, you then use the world map to return to the new island and use the fossil centre there to sell your goods. You see, whichever island you sell your fossils on is the island that gets the money added to its budget. So by doing this, you are basically injecting cash without having to pay for expensive digging expeditions. With more money right at the start of a new island, you have much more wiggle room for mistakes and get building more exotic dinosaurs right away. To make this even more efficient, why not use the research station to research inventory space? Once you install it on the fossil centre, you can hold more rare materials and make fewer trips between islands to sell all your goodies. Of course, there is one island that makes this fossil scam much trickier. On to the next tip.
There was another island near here where an amusement park was built over the bones of an abandoned one.
Isla Tacano is the third island in the game and hands you the keys to a park that has already failed and gone bust. It's your job to turn its fortunes around. The problem is, you don't have the money to build a fossil centre to start injecting it with that easy cash. But the solution is pretty simple. You sell what is already there. You want to demolish the innovation centre, that's that big pyramid looking thing, and then get rid of fast food shops and clothes shops, basically anything you've already unlocked and can build again. Keep getting rid of things until you have the 400 grand needed to pay for a fossil centre. Build it near the pre-existing electrical substations, and once it's there, zip back to Isla Matanceros and start collecting those rare fossils again. Once you've got a healthy stash of fossils back on the first island, head back to Tacano and sell the fossils there to give yourself a much easier foothold for rebuilding the park. It makes the mission an absolute pushover. When you're nervously watching dinosaurs peck at your fences, it's easy to forget that contracts exist as an easy way to boost your finances. Yes, contracts will be naturally offered over the course of the game, but you can also request a new one, up to 3 at any given time, by heading into the management screen and selecting Request Contract. Of course, you need to be clever about what you do select. If the contract asks you to do something that you know you're far from completing, don't accept it. If it, for example, asks you to get a genome to a certain purity, and you haven't even started digging for that dino yet, think about the time it will take to actually complete. It's worth declining and gambling on an easier contract coming up next. I also like to ask for contracts just as I'm about to complete an action, like hatching a new dinosaur or having a dig team return from the site, as you might actually get lucky and get a contract that requires that exact condition to complete. Don't just take on a contract after you've hatched a dinosaur. You could be getting easy money for that new critter. As a general rule, I try to avoid dino fights, as I don't like the idea of seeing one huge pile of money being eaten by another huge pile of money, but it can have its benefits. When one dinosaur kills another dinosaur, it actually absorbs half of the victim's rating. Now, this is the all-round stat used to show a dinosaur's general impressiveness. The higher it is, the bigger the pull it exerts over crowds, and the more it contributes to getting a 5-star dino rating for your park. So when a herbivore dinosaur is getting towards the end of its life, it actually makes sense to feed it to a carnivore so that your big scary meat eater can absorb its rating. If the aging grass gobbler dies of old age, it contributes nothing, except you having to take it to the dino crematorium. Knocking it out with tranquilizers and airlifting it to your carnivore paddock makes far more sense. It's the circle of life and all that. The visitors to the park are a strange old bunch. They've travelled halfway around the world to see a living, breathing velociraptor, but what really sticks with them is the quality of the burgers. Dinosaurs are wasted on these people. But the point stands. To boost visitor happiness and to get you towards that 5-star facility rating, it's really important that your key facilities are within walking distance of food, drink and gift shops. When I say key facilities, I mean the hotel where they stay and the places that they see dinosaurs, like the viewing platforms, the viewing towers, or the monorail stations. Build fast food joints and a shop near these and you'll see user satisfaction skyrocket. Now, you can tell if you're hitting the spot by hitting the eye symbol to see various heat maps of your park. By clicking the food and drink icons along the bottom, you can see which buildings in the park are well served, they're the ones in blue, and which are suffering, they're the ones in shades of red. Ideally, all the highlighted buildings will be in blue, so try and place fun facilities between them to hit as many at once. And another thing to watch out for, when visitor numbers rise, remember to check in on shops and increase their staff numbers if they're at maximum guest capacity. There's no point standing between the public and their precious merchandise. One of the big problems I was having on the very first island was having to hatch all my dinosaurs into one enclosure from my single Hammond creation lab. My first carnivore started eating my herbivores and almost drove the park to bankruptcy. The easy solution? Building a mini enclosure around the Hammond creation lab and installing a gate to the larger pen. This way you can control whether you want your new dinosaur to enter the larger population, and if you don't, they are penned in, making it very easy to tranquilize and airlift them to a new enclosure. Of course, if you want to avoid the expense of transport, you could connect your Hammond Creation Lab to several enclosures and use multiple gates to control which dinosaur goes where. Here, for example, my lovely herbivores leave to the pen on the right, while the nasty spitter types, sorry to call them by their film name, I can't pronounce the proper name, enter the pen on the left. Just don't get the two gates modelled up, or you're going to scar some visitors for life. You'll soon learn that dinosaurs are massive divas, with happiness dictated by everything from the amount of trees around them to the number of friends they can see. I don't think they went extinct because a meteor dropped on their heads, but because they were just too damn fussy. Most demands are easy to fix. You place a feeder, water, and add or remove trees until their enclosure ticks all the right boxes. The stats more likely to throw you off are social and population. Social is dictated by how many dinosaurs of their own kind they are happy to share with, while population means the overall dinosaur count in their enclosure. You can see the exact numbers for each stat in the dinosaur's bio menu. Go over or under that social number and you'll begin to raise their discomfort. The trickier dinosaurs are those with a social stat of 1 or above, as it means they'll freak out if you hatch them without a friend, and we all know how a freak out ends. The trick then is to use the multiple slots of the Hammond Creation Center to grow 2 or more dinosaurs of that breed at the same time. Grow just one, and in the time it takes to hatch a second dinosaur, the first one can get irate and start testing the fences. This is particularly important with raptors, who are the ultimate pack animal and require a very precise social group to avoid going into instant meltdown.
Warning.
Those are my tactics that I've been using to prevent my park from turning into John Hammond's worst nightmare. But as with any game in the management genre, there are an infinite variety of approaches. If you've got your own words of wisdom, why not share them in the comments? Or if you have any questions about my suggestions, let me know and I'll clear them up. Rock Paper Shotgun is a channel about all things PC gaming. Everything from sunny dinosaur parks to equally sunny cyberpunk futures. So why not subscribe to get all this posted to you direct? Just hit the notification bell to never miss a video. Good luck with your own dino dystopias, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Bye!